What's up, everyone? Welcome to day 2 of the single turbo install. Right now, Lewis is we got the transmission off. Let's set to the side. We're gonna start removing turbos, all the accessories, everything that belongs to the single turbo setup. Get rid of what we don't need, and then we can start the install. I got some gaskets and hardware on the way already to install the manifold. There's going to be a few parts that we need to order, like this motor mount. It's no good. This side over here seems all right. Still pretty stiff. Maybe might order them in pairs. This line here needs to be replaced. We're going to give the engine bay a nice little degreasing and cleaning. I believe, yeah, this is gonna stay. We're not relocating coolant tank or anything like that, so we should be fine. That's pretty much it. We'll go over these pulleys and make sure they're all good. If we need to replace them, we will. I think the belt is pretty new. So I'll do a little update. I'll leave it on time lapse, and once Lou starts pulling all this off, we'll start setting up to install the turbo. See that crusty ass turbo. They're actually not bad, right? Not too much shaft there. They did all right. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of all this. We don't need these boost solenoids anymore. This whole rail gets deleted. These vacuum lines here get deleted. What I'll do is I'll just get a fresh vacuum line and loop it from this one to here. That's it. I've got I ordered the gaskets and everything that should be coming. Probably, I don't know, that rear main seal looks pretty dry. I would say we probably do the front main seal. That's what all this oil buildup is on the front of the block, is from the front main seal, so we'll get that. And think that's it for now. So we'll pause it here. Once we get some parts in, we'll go ahead and do another update and see where we're at. All right, so we got some new parts here. Got an oil filter, got some motor mounts, got some gaskets, exhaust gaskets. What else we got here? The coolant pipe. Got some oil O-rings. The larger ones for there. We're gonna put all of our fittings on for the single turbo conversion. We got some new studs. With Speedtech, we do need to use these smaller copper nuts instead of the OEM larger style, since those will hit the manifold. So it looks like we got everything here to start putting on the turbo. So first step, we're gonna be placing our oil and coolant fittings that Speedtech provides us. After those are in, I think we can just start mounting the turbo, get our coolant pipe on, connect our water pump, and go from there. All right, so we are pretty much all set to install the turbo. We have our new studs here. These are the 3 that Speedtech that are not used. We've got the coolant pipe on. We've got all of our coolant and oil fittings on right here. And then these are the nuts that you have to get. Here's the part number. If you're buying a used Speedtech kit, these are the proper nuts you need. Start this line. Throw them both. Put it on a little bit so it doesn't fall. Yeah. And then that middle one too. So we'll get those lines attached. We'll torque down all of our copper nuts. We'll put in that oil drain line probably at the end once it's tightened down. And we'll do another update. Update time. All right, all the copper nuts. So we end up using the larger OEM style copper nuts on the 4 corners. That's how it's supposed to be according to Speedtech. You can use all the short ones, but we just decided to do it like this. So turbo's torque to spec, right? Yeah, 14 foot-pounds. We have the water pump and thermostat mounted with the included hardware that Speedtech gives you. It does need to move forward a little bit for the air filter to clear this area. So water pump, yeah, thermostat.
Only one bulb was in the back one.
Okay, so we move forward the thermostat there. Yeah, I think the next step would be put the Speedtech motor mount on, and maybe the downpipe, and I think we'll do the blow-off valve once it's in, or the wastegate once it's in the car, or maybe we'll just assemble everything. I don't know, we'll see. Lewis is in charge. I'll let him do it however he wants to do it. One thing we are going to do, we're going to remove this belt. I have a front main seal we're going to be replacing. You can see there's a little bit of oil buildup here that's from the front main seal, so we'll do that. Yeah, I think that's it for now. I'll check back at the next update. All right, here's another update on the single turbo install. Lewis has got the harness on right now, transferred over our O2 sensors, he went ahead and put the wastegate on, recirculating with downpipe. Have our motor mount from Speedtech on. Pretty much everything getting wrapped up to put it back in the car. The one thing that we are gonna change is I ordered some JMC push lock fittings, so we're not gonna be using these barbed silicone hoses for the wastegates. We'll replace these two, which we can probably do that in the car as well. We have a stock manifold, so we're gonna drill the intake manifold to get boost reference from the manifold instead of the turbo. I like getting it from the manifold. Some people get it boost reference from the turbo. And then yeah, we will go ahead and put the trans back on, get it ready to put back in the car. We got new motor mounts going in for the car here. We're gonna get this all cleaned up, get all the oil and grease cleaned up, and before we put the motor in. So all right, update on this single turbo install. Pretty much motor is ready to go back in. Lewis is pumping it to 5,000 feet elevation. We got the engine bay cleaned up pretty nicely. Got all the grease off here, off the subframe. We have our new motor mounts in. We have our new power steering line on. There's no need to relocate any coolant on this car. The only changes we made, because this kit was a manual kit, is we're gonna leave this block off here, and we just blocked off the line on this radiator right there, and then we're gonna do the same there. We do have a BMS trans cooler install that we're doing, so this is gonna be deleted. And it comes with block offs for the coolant lines here. So this piece here will go back into the trans and be blocked off as well. I mean, not the trans, it'll go into the radiator and that'll be blocked off. So I'll set up a time lapse right now. Lewis is gonna be inserting the motor back into the chassis. So I think that's it. Anything you gotta say? Pretty smooth install.
So far, yeah.
A lot of people are saying, oh, why would you pull the motor? It seems like so much more work. It's really not more work. I mean, it's easier to work on outside of when the motor is outside of the car. So
Yeah, that's what sucked, doing it with the subframe off and doing it from the bottom. It'd be
yeah,
annoying.
yeah, especially because these nuts right here, they're really hard to get to. So it just makes it easier doing it on the stand. I mean, if you haven't, it literally was like what, another hour worth of work to pull the motor. Yeah. And then that just, you know, gives you time to check all the gaskets, make sure that, you know, if there were anything leaking that we needed to do, you know, then it's easier to just do it while the motor's out as well. So all right, enough rambling. I will set up the time lapse and you guys can watch the rest of this build. All right, update, motor is in.
Because of me?
Bro,
He's talking about...
because of my guidance, the motor is in.
He said move the chain, who knows what. I never moved the chain.
All right, so yeah, we just gotta put the nuts on the motor mounts, reconnect everything, connect the drivetrain, you know, everything we did in the part 1 of the video is going to be in reverse order now, minus a few extra steps that we're going to take to set up the max solenoid and route the lines for the wastegate and all that. So pretty good, not bad for a little 2-3 day job. Obviously we still have a transcooler to install, we have coilovers to install, we do have all new control arms and torsion arms that we will be installing as well. So pretty smooth install. Speedtech bottom mount, pretty easy to do. As you can see, no lifts required. So yeah, we'll leave it here, and hopefully one more update before the end of the day, and that'll wrap it up. All right, so Lewis right now has pretty much everything connected on the drivetrain side of things. The trans is bolted up. Right now we are going to put in our torque converter bolts. So he's under there. I'm gonna spin the crank over while he lines up and tightens the bolts. So I'll go ahead and put this on a time lapse right now. Are you lined up, or you want me to turn it?
Already did too.
So turn it? All right, so wrapping things up with this is going to be the end of part 2 on the Speedtech single turbo install. Lewis is putting the rat's nest back together. Motor is in, drive line is connected. Before we put the front end on, I believe I'm gonna have Lewis do the oil cooler installation, which gets mounted right here to the frame rail. Run the necessary lines. We're deleting this thing here, and then it's Friday, end of the day, so we'll probably get back to this thing next week. And I think we'll just have one more part on this. It'll be part 3, and it'll just be putting the front end on. I'll walk you guys through how we do the tuning here with Doc Vu. And then maybe there'll be a part 4 of us doing some logs with Doc Vu on the street. Shouldn't have a problem. It's been pretty dry for the most part, a little chilly, but this is an X stripe, so we shouldn't have any problems doing logs on this thing. So yeah, we'll end it off here. Motor back in, just a couple more steps. Also, we have we got control arms and stuff that we're replacing along with the coilovers. So probably midweek next week we should be all done with this thing, and then I can take it out and do some logs with it. So hope you guys are enjoying the progress on this. If there's anybody that's got any questions, feel free to hit me up. I usually try to help everybody out. Just send me a message. You can find me on Messenger or shoot me an email to boostedbeamerschicago@gmail.com, and I can take care of you. We'll end it here. Lewis, I'll see you next week. I'm out of here. I think you still have like another, 45 minutes? We're gonna wrap things up here. All right, later.